Jennifer Falloon is guided by an unwavering commitment to integrity, community, and education. Jennifer Falloon envisions a world where real estate investments serve as a powerful catalyst for building generational wealth. Her personal mission is to not only help clients achieve financial independence through strategic investments, but also to create a lasting legacy of prosperity that spans across generations. By fostering a collaborative environment and providing exceptional investment opportunities, Jennifer Falloon ensures that each partnership becomes a stepping stone toward greater financial security and abundance. Jennifer and her Vorsa Investments team own over 500 doors nationwide and growing. Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everyone, let's welcome Jennifer Falloon. Come on down.
Thank you. So I love that we have talked about mindset like a lot today. It just shows how important like our thinking is and how we perceive ourselves. And so I definitely know when I'm in the right room, when I have heard so many people mimic like what is literally in, my talk. And so I just love it. I know when I'm with my people. So when I first got into real estate, I was absolutely adamant that I was going to make friends with and learn from the very best in the business. And I just prayed to God before I even went to my first real estate class that it would be his will for us to do this thing. So, we had come from corporate and this was scary, right? To walk out of, a six-figure job to start from nothing. But God answers prayer. And just as I prayed, it wasn't long that we did indeed make friends with some of the top real estate professionals in our industry. But it was very clear to them that we were newbies. And it wasn't just because of our lack of knowledge about the industry. Seasoned investors could tell we were newbies by the way we talked, the questions we asked, the answers we gave when they asked us questions. We were trying to act like millionaires with middle class mindsets. And why wouldn't we? I mean, we grew up middle class. Our parents grew up middle class. We were taught, by middle class teachers and college professors. So how are we supposed to know any different? And we didn't. But we did know that if we wanted to fit in with our new friends and more importantly, be taken seriously by them, we had to change our thinking. So with lots of observations and studying the nuances of several millionaires, this is what we found and have implemented into our daily lives. So to be clear, in Jen's world, there are two types of millionaires. And these are not technical terms. I made them up myself. But one, there is the flaunting millionaire, and then there's the generational millionaire. And the flaunting millionaires, those are the get rich quick, super bougie, showboats. They spend their money as fast as they make it, and they want everyone to know and see how rich they are. For this talk, I'm going to focus on the generational millionaires because that's who I wanted to emulate and who I get to be today. So let's dive into how a millionaire thinks or a generational millionaire thinks and why they think so differently than we did coming up from middle class and limited middle class thinking. So one, generational millionaires are fairly frugal with their money. We worked hard to get where we are. We spent a lot of time and money that we didn't necessarily have to get where we are. We try not to make unnecessary expenditures. We're careful about incurring debt. We don't have to have the newest technology or expensive gadgets and widgets. For me, I buy almost all of my books secondhand, and I will rarely buy anything from a store that charges shipping. Can't stand it. But we would rather see our money grow than nickel and dime it away on things that we can't pass on to the next generation. And so while we may be frugal, One thing millionaires have no problem spending money on, and we touched on this, and I love it because we do have coaches and mentors and advisors here. That is where we spend our money. We have a coach, mentor, or advisor for every aspect of our lives. I have a technology therapist that does all my technology because it makes me nauseous. I have a marketing coach because I don't know anything about marketing. I have an NLP coach because if I don't break my thought patterns and generational curses, like I'm never going to get ahead. Thank you to LaDonna. I now have a publicity coach that I didn't realize I really needed. I thought I could do these things on my own, realized I can't, and LaDonna is getting me to that next level. I have a business coach. I have several spiritual advisors, and we would not be where we are today without them. And, we don't know what we don't know. And so, we've probably spent well over six figures just on coaches. And I wouldn't change that for anything. So we don't know, we can't do it on our own. And nor do we want to though. Even millionaires want a fast track on some level, and a good coach, mentor, advisor in every aspect of our lives serves as that fast track. We especially love the coaches that have failed at one point and came back stronger and better than before. We get to learn from their mistakes without the pain and embarrassment of failing ourselves. And so, I loved, to hear the other stories. And, that just gives me reassurance that, again, I'm in the right room. Coaches and mentors are viewed as investments with incredibly valuable returns. Another thing I love about the millionaire mindset is we don't need or want validation from others. We don't need to flaunt what we have, and we don't need to feel, like we have to impress our friends. And there's a reason why celebrities like Darren Hardy, Dean Graciosi, Tony Robbins, you will see them wear the same outfits all the time. It used to drive me bonkers, but they don't waste their time thinking about what they're going to wear that day. They're far too hyper focused on more pressing issues in life. I also love celebrities like Mark Zuckerberg and Adam Sandler. Like they always look like they're homeless. And that's because they have money and they don't care who knows it or who doesn't. They have that true generational millionaire confidence. They just don't have to impress others. And I love that. Um, Millionaires are intentional and consistent about their daily routines. We get up at the same time every morning. Okay. And so when I say we, I still struggle with this too, right? Like I'm not that 4 a.m. millionaire. That'll never happen. But I do try to keep, my morning routines consistent. But we're getting up at the same time every morning. And we do the important things first. For me, it's my prayer time and exercise so that no matter what happens the rest of my day, if I lost control, I know that I'm aligned and I know that I have exercise, and it just starts habit tracking, which is so important to our success. And these daily habits determine what our lives are going to look like 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years down the road. This is where we started. And keeping at least a strong morning routine leads to a source of accomplishment and reduces stress. And I know that I will take all the stress reducers I can get. Millionaires don't watch a lot of TV. And I'm not sharing this to brag because it was a really hard decision that we had to make as a family. But for 30 years, as we were building our business, we did not watch TV. We didn't have cable, or we had the TV on the wall because that's where we had put it, and we unplugged it. And it's very rare for us to watch TV still. It's just become one of those habits that we just don't do. And we were constantly in learning and growth mode, and we still are in just constant learning and growth mode. And I had the philosophy that if you have time to watch TV, you have time to read a book or learn a new skill or, do something um, just more impactful. And I feel like a true generational millionaire will never feel like they've made it. So we're always listening to podcasts, we're always reading books, we're always going to seminars. And I just didn't want to waste my precious brain matter because I wasted a lot of it in college. I don't feel like I have a lot to waste. And I certainly didn't want to waste it on mindless garbage when we were hungry for true knowledge and wisdom. Um, if we do need downtime, and we do, right? Like that's part of that self care, we're more likely to do something that it's an immersive memory for us. So, like for me, I love live theater. My husband loves sporting events. He is a die-hard St. Louis Cardinals fan. And anytime we get to be in St. Louis, we're probably making a game. Um, my oldest son is Brazilian Jiu Jitsu champion. So this morning, he asked me to not come to his championship, which worked out because I'm here with you, amazing people. But it gives him performance anxiety. So he is a 3-time Brazilian Jiu Jitsu champion because he was sending me while we were talking, sending me pictures. So 3 times he's a champion. So when he allows us to come, I am there on the front row, but I also act a fool. So I can see why, he probably doesn't want me there, but it's a good transition to millionaires build their business around their lives and not their lives around their business. All right. So, as entrepreneurs, let me repeat that we build our business around our lives and not our lives around our businesses. And that's so important because I think we get that backwards a lot. And, we read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We read How the Rich Get Richer. We read Traction and the 4-Hour Work Week, but we implemented those things. We didn't just read it and put it down. And it allowed us to have a really healthy work play balance. We have intentionally built in the freedom to travel without worry. We're involved in our kids' extracurricular activities without being on our phones. We get to stop our workday at a certain time and just truly stop. So, and that was something that we got to build. We appreciated the material that we have learned from. We took it seriously. And, which leads me to the next point, which I think was also mentioned earlier, that millionaires are coachable. Be coachable. We never presume to know it all. Am I an expert in my field? Yes. But do I know everything? No, because my lane is also my lane. And if you start asking me crazy questions, especially with like the math and the interest rates, you're not going to get a good answer. But I have a CPA and a business partner that is happy to give those answers. My lane is my lane. So I never pretend to know it all, and I try not to ever assume the answer and then look just dumb. So we don't mind constructive criticism. That strive to always be better. This plays into that. But the caveat to that is that person who's giving the constructive criticism, they better have the authority to give it. And assuming that this is the case, generational millionaires, we are all ears. We are hungry to learn from those that are in a position to be learned from. We take seriously and we'll meditate on that knowledge and how to improve. And on the flip side of that, if this is a middle class mindset, that limited mindset friend, from school or that crazy family member, we're certainly going to listen to their opinion, but it is not going to be considered. Limited mindset people love to criticize, and I think we brought this up too. It makes them feel better about themselves. Their intentions are to tear down and not build up, and millionaires know the difference. Millionaires hate to waste time. Again, this is something that I definitely still struggle with because I do love a good scroll on Facebook. And as frugal as we may be, our time is more important than money. We can always make more money, but we can't make more time. And a generational millionaire, we're not going to drive across town to save 5 cents on gas. We're not wasting time clipping coupons or comparing sale ads. And we just feel like that time is better spent learning a new thought process or testing a new algorithm. We don't want to be bothered with small talk, gossip, or what the mainstream media is trying to shove down our throats. We don't care about the Kardashians or the next bachelorette. Our time is just too precious, and we would just rather spend it talking about investment vehicles. Let's talk about upcoming trends. Let's talk about nuggets learned at the latest seminar. Let's talk about good books that are going to move my needle. Millionaires do not complain. We know in the grand scheme of things, we cannot control the gas prices. We can't control interest rates or inflation. And instead of wasting valuable time complaining about it, we are actually busy trying to figure out how to offset these expenses with other streams of income. So complaining about who's in office or who voted for what or why we don't live in a perfect world is not the highest and best use of our time. And frankly, it's just a downer. And we can't keep an abundant mindset while constantly in complaint mode. So speaking of the abundance mindset, that's exactly what a generational millionaire will have. We always try to think in terms of abundance. We don't want to compete with others. We believe that there is enough for all of us. We all can have a seat at the table. We think positive thoughts and we expect positive outcomes. We manifest, we meditate, we pray, and we keep calm. We are generous in our finances, our time, and resources to help elevate others. We want everyone to win. And if we can be part of that win, then all the better. Also, millionaires are not victims. We don't blame others. Everything is your fault. No matter what happened, if you got hit by a car because you just pulled out, you should have left earlier or you should have left later. Everything is your fault, and we take responsibility. And we have no problem doing that. And we see all this as a room for growth and knowledge. How do we learn from this? We don't have time for victim mentality. And every setback and failure that we've had, we've looked at as a challenge to make us better instead of boo-hooing in defeat. And we're happy to take these opportunities to help others and keep them from making the same mistakes. Again, having a great coach, and I'm not a coach by any means, so please don't hire me. But if I can help an up and comer real estate investor and I can say, don't do this because we did it and it sucked and it didn't work and we lost money, if that helps them, then I am so happy to share that. We keep an open mind while standing firm on our core beliefs. I think this is one of the most important things because you don't get this with limited, middle class mindset people. They are not open minded. And we know being prideful and stuck in belief systems aren't going to what propels us forward. Like that just holds you back. So we love to hear respectable differing perspectives. And our minds can be swayed with a well founded argument that may be contradictory to what we have believed to be true before, but we love to listen and we love to know why we may be wrong. Like, why did we think that was okay? Or why did we have this belief? It was probably something that was passed down to us, and we never were educated by somebody who may know more about that subject. There are far more educated and intelligent people than I am. And though, sometimes I might disagree in the end because my core beliefs are always going to be my core beliefs, I am open to listen and dissect the content and come to my own conclusion. I'm an independent thinker. Most millionaires are independent thinkers and very unlikely to listen to or read mainstream media outlets. We don't drink the Kool Aid. And limited mindset people are so stuck in their belief systems, they won't listen. And, they love to resort to like name calling or insults to like defend their cases. And they will fall on their swords of pride before they allow a new concept in their heads. So we are very careful to limit that time we spend with these people, which in a lot of cases are our family and friends that we've kind of had to outgrow. And which a great transition to, we are careful about who we spend our time with and who is in our circle. We need to be, as all of us, need to be surrounded with people who are going to drive us forward and not hold us back. Remember when I said that limited mindset individuals enjoy tearing people down instead of building them up? They cannot stand to see someone doing better than they are. And these, are people that have probably been a part of our lives forever. And it hurts to not be supported by them, but at some point they have to be distanced from that negativity and scarcity belief that they have carried and that we carried too before we made a decision to change our mindsets. They can't live with positivity and abundance. Generational millionaires are not only hanging out with people who share those beliefs, but these are the people that they are going to be in the closest circles with. And we worked far too hard for people to bring us down, you know, degrade our business, degrade what we're doing, act like they're scared for us, when really what they want is they can't stand to see us doing better than they did. And instead of coming along with us, they would rather, work against us. Okay, so I'm not going to make a lot of friends on this, I'm sure, but it is the truth. Millionaires do not have financial advisors. We don't want to pay commissions to somebody that's only making 100,000 a year at best to gamble our money away for us. So I am not a gambler, but if I was going to gamble, I would surely gamble my own money away myself in Vegas. And so, and again, it goes back to, I said earlier, millionaires will listen to those doing better than we are. And somebody making $100,000 a year isn't doing better than we are. If financial advisors knew how to make millionaires, they'd be millionaires themselves. And well, they are not. So millionaires know that the stock market is risky. And though they may have some funds there, that is certainly not where the bulk of their money is. We also don't have traditional 401ks. While we applaud employers that match contributions, because let's face it, that's free money, and I love free money, we also, again, know that anything gambled is potentially lost, and you won't get that money back. Millionaires, we have self-directed retirement accounts because we want to be the boss of our money. We want the final say as to where our money is invested and how quickly it grows. Is that my time? Okay. So I just want to say thank you. And if anybody has any, questions or desire to learn about what I do and how to grow generational wealth, I would love to speak with you.
Thank you for tuning in to today's video on cultivating a millionaire mindset. Remember, financial freedom is within reach with the right strategies. If you're eager to explore how self-directed IRAs can accelerate your journey to wealth, don't hesitate to book a call with us. Let's empower your financial future together. Until next time, stay inspired and keep aiming for greatness.